Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. And today I want to talk about if trucking is still worth it in 2026.
Short-sighted for the lies I told you, but you stood tall when the glass was empty.
Okay, the market is not what it used to be. So it's still something that you could come into and still make some good money, but not everyone will survive in this economy. Rates aren't what they used to be. Back in 2020, 2021, with COVID kicked off, and a lot of trucking companies, a lot of operators were just making ridiculous amount of money, and a lot of people just flooded the market. For the past 3 years, we've been going through a trucking recession. So if you're barely trying to get into this industry, you gotta, do your homework on that, really look into it and make a plan, right? In 2026 and beyond, the trucking industry is going to reward the operator, not just the gambler. If you're a person that doesn't plan, isn't looking to see, what's your first step, second step, third step, and making a plan to be able to get into the industry and be successful, you're not going to make it. Okay. This is not an industry that you just want to come in and just winging it and figure out as you go. Okay. You want to make sure that you have a mentor, somebody that has already been in the industry, and pick their brain, get some information, get some good knowledge, and figure out how you're going to get in it. Okay. If you recently got into it in the past year or so, right now it's when you should be looking at what it is that you could provide for your customers and how can you set yourself apart from your competition. In 2026, you can't just come in here without a plan and just trying to figure it out as you go. Okay. In 2026, there is still a lot of money to be made, but you have to really be tactical. You have to be strategic on how it is that you're going to get into the industry. And if you've already in it, how you plan growing, or how do you plan on staying in the industry and being successful within your business, whether you're an owner operator or you have a small fleet or trying to grow a small fleet. Okay. What are you able to afford or offer to your customers and the shippers that you work with or the brokers that you work with that others can't? Or what can you offer that is better than everybody else? Okay. So you have to look at it in that way. Trucking is still worth it in 2026, but it's not for everyone. It is a hard industry. It's very competitive. There's a lot of stress in this industry. And right now there's a lot of things, regulations and everything that are increasing, that are making it even harder to operate out here in the trucking industry. In 2026, knowing your rate per mile is non-negotiable. Profits matter more than gross. So just because you run a load that's paying you a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean that you're keeping all that money. Okay. You have to look into fuel, insurance, maintenance, all these kind of things eat up on your profits. So you have to know your rate per mile. What do you need to be making at a very minimum to be profitable? And how do you plan on sustaining that over time? So picking a lane, picking a region, or a certain, whether you run local or over the road, you want to pick a lane that you could consistently work out of and get consistent work. It's better to get less money per load and something that you can work consistently throughout the year than for a load that gives you, a lot of money for that lane, but it's only every once in a while and it's not consistent. You could grow off of consistency. You can't grow off of just making a couple of loads that make you a lot of money, here and there, but you're not sure when the next load's going to be. In 2026, business skills will beat driver skills. Okay. It's not all about how much you are out there on the road. It's more about how good are you as a business person. There's a lot of very good drivers that know how to drive a truck that have gone out of business because they don't run their trucking company, their operation, whether it's a one-man shop or they have a fleet. They don't run it like a business. They're just out there running, and eventually they go out of business. Dispatching, negotiation skills, cash flow, all these kind of things, relationship building, you have to know how to be good at those things, or at least work on those and be able to work on how you improve those things throughout your business. Okay. How are you building that relationship with your customers, with your shippers, with your receivers, where you pick up at, and even with your factoring companies and your fuel card companies, your insurance agents? You have to know how to build those relationships so they could help you in being able to sustain your company, get you better paying loads, or, in insurance, how to get better insurance, cheaper insurance, because that's one of the things that is very expensive in the trucking industry. The wheel doesn't make you money, decisions do. So in 2026, make sure that you're making good decisions for your business. In 2026, technology and regulations are raising the bar. Okay. You have to look into your ELDs, look into your safety score for your trucking company. You have to be able to look into your insurance and be able to work on those systems that are going to make you more efficient. Okay. AI, try to use AI for your trucking companies. If you don't adapt, you're going to be washed out. Eventually, there's going to be other companies that do adapt and understand how to use it for their advantage, and they're going to be able to just outperform you in everything that you do within 2026. So in 2026, freedom still exists in the trucking industry, okay? But you have to understand that there's going to be a price to pay. You're going to be stressed out. You know, there's a lot of responsibility in trucking, especially as a logistics company, as a trucking company. If you're looking for something easy, trucking is not for you if you haven't gotten into it. But if you're looking for freedom, if you're looking for something that you could really, you know, think about, grow it, be able to strategically plan it and be able to scale, you could still get into trucking and make some very good money. It's still an industry that's worth it, but you have to come in with the right mindset. There you have it, guys. So those are a couple of things you should be looking at if you're thinking of getting into trucking in 2026, or if you recently got into it in the past couple of years. Okay, so if you have some opinions on what people should be looking at in 2026 if they're trying to get into the industry or how it looks, please drop it down in the comment section. I would like to know what you think. If you got some value off this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know what you think, if 2026 is still a good time to get into trucking.